Hey everybody, it's Christine, and today I have a new layout. This is one of my monthly layouts, like I started in January, showcasing the best year ever collection from Simple Stories. So this is my March layout, which is kind of a little bit more delayed than I wanted it to be, but March was kind of a weird month, and I had to kind of process even wanting to scrapbook it and how to scrapbook it and all that stuff. So I'm creating my photo collage right now. What I do is I print off a bunch of the pictures from the month that are smaller memories, maybe not the hugest big things that I really want to do a single layout of, but things I still want to remember. And I print them in black and white so that I can have a whole bunch of them and not have the layout get overwhelmed by all the colors and different settings and such. So I'm going to actually create two photo collages today, one for the top of the layout and one for the bottom. And like, these are super miscellaneous photos. Everything from a picture of a piece of blueberry pie that my son ate all the blueberry out of and left the crust completely, to pictures of my daughter and a friend 6 feet apart, social distancing, on a walk, all that kind of stuff. So just a lot of the different memories from March. I am matting those on a lighter cream colored cardstock because a lot of the Simple Story stuff has a lot of that cream in it. And so I didn't want white. I felt like it wouldn't work quite right. And so I decided to go for a cream one. And right now, the part of the layout that I'm doing is the smaller photo collage that's just 3 horizontal photos, and that's going to go up at the top of the layout. The last 2 months, I've just had one big collage at the bottom, but I had a lot of just little detail moments that I wanted to remember from March. Like I said, not necessarily things that I want to use forever and have like a giant layout about, but things that I do want to remember just that we did during this weird month of March. So carrying on, starting to build the actual layout. I'm going to cut out the word March from the cut apart card page. And I have done this the last 2 months. I cut out January, cut out February, and I really like this script font that they used for it, so that's why I opted for that. There are stickers that say March, etc., but I just really like this font, and I'm trying to keep a little bit of uniformity for this album as it comes together. The next thing I'm going to do is pull out the 6x8 paper pad, and it has this great striped paper. I have to tell you, I really like having the 12x12 papers alongside the 6x8 papers. I like the smaller scale of the 6x8, and sometimes I want that smaller scale. And this was one of those cases. So I am going to now build a big square to go onto my layout. When I've got all these different straight elements, I like to try and see if there's a way I can put them all into one big block. That way I don't have to try and keep everything straight, perfectly measured, all these things. It gets a little stressful to do that. So I knew that my layout was 10¼ inches wide for both of my photo collages. So I just made a square that size, and then I'm going to put the top one at the top, the bottom collage at the bottom, and then add those stripes across the middle. I opted for these stripes because it's March. I was thinking I'd go along the rainbow, St. Patrick's Day kind of theme. I didn't end up completely going that direction. I did work this part as rainbow, but I opted for just more of a spring theme, quite honestly, just because that's the way the design elements were working. And it didn't really matter to me. I'm not a huge St. Patrick's Day person, so it wasn't a big deal to scrap that idea and go down a different design route. Now, I do want to point out my green background paper that I used is actually from the new Color Vibe paper packs. These are basic neutral papers. One side is just a textured side, and the other side has a monochromatic dotted look on it. And these are just fantastic for layout bases because of the texture that they provide. I did not want a full-blown patterned paper, so this was a really good way to work that in and really bring the attention into the rest of the layout. So as you can see, I am going to put March right there in the middle, and then I am going to do some embellishing around it. I did opt to pop up the word March with some Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L 3D foam squares because I wanted it to have a little more dimension to it. Next thing I'm going to do is build around that title. Like I said, I'm going to do some embellishing. So I'm going to bring in some some flower ephemera. And I'm going to just kind of build cluster around both sides of the word March. I am going to do a lot of that flat, but I am going to bring in some dimension because I am going to include some chipboard. I'm going to include just some popped up ephemera. I'm also going to use some stickers from the 4x6 sticker pad that you see sticking there or sitting there. I have a whole variety of stuff that I'm going to work on this part, and that's mostly because I decided to go with the flowers and the spring look, so I needed to pull some stuff from a variety of places, the cardstock stickers also, so that I could have just the right fits. And you can see it's got a really pretty soft springy feel to it already. I do also want to point out that I brought in that plaid paper both in the top photo collage and the bottom one, and that comes from the 6x8 paper pad as well. And I just like the way it coordinated and didn't distract from the stripes, didn't distract from the pictures, but brought in an extra pop of color. I just added some puffy stickers as well. So I am working like all the stickers from Simple Stories today and just trying to, I'm happy with where my collage in the middle is there, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to do up there on the top of the layout as well as on the bottom. Now you can see I've added some journaling. I just printed some out and I made it a little bit longer than the plaid piece there at the bottom and just put it across. I did that intentionally so that it would pop out and just have a different feel to it. And I did do that on traditional white paper. You can see that some traditional white is working its way in both on the background of all the flowers stickers as well as on my journaling. And so I love the way that when you do it right, you can make white combine really nicely with a cream or off-white color. Final step is just going to be to add some white Nuvo drops. And I'm going to do that really lightly throughout the layout just to add a little bit of extra white as well as some extra dimension. And there you have it, another month in the books. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.